Hey everybody, Josh from the Tuning School here, and today I'm joined by Mike Markoski, who is a senior sales specialist for Turn 14 Distribution. Mike, how you doing today?
Never better, my friend. Getting settled back in the office over here, just trying to keep the ball rolling and can continue moving forward.
That's good. That's good. For those of you that don't know, Turn 14 Distribution is a performance warehouse distributor with facilities located in Pennsylvania, Texas, and Nevada. So Mike, tell us the story about Turn 14. When was it founded and why the name?
So Turn 14 Distribution was actually created out of almost necessity for a really good 100% wholesale distribution company. We specialize in anything performance, and basically our owners, when they set off to kind of start this all off, they were in a retail / wholesale situation. And if you look at both of them side by side, they don't really work out well together. So in 2007, they formed Turn 14 Distribution, and now we're here and we've grown well beyond where we were before, and we're continuing to grow, which is nice. So started in 2007, and I don't see any stop anytime soon. Cool.
That's awesome. So Turn 14, the name, is that named after a track or something?
Yeah, so I actually chose the location I'm doing this at right now. Most people are familiar with Road America. Right before the long straight, and actually where your finish line would be, is the 14th turn. So basically last turn before that final straightaway. And if you're familiar with Road America, where it actually heads up the hill right there, it's a really cool place to watch some racing. So it fits out perfect with kind of our mentality here and basically our race car theme. So works out really well.
That's super cool. I do like that graphic in the background. I like the lights coming down on top of it.
Yeah, so if you ever actually get a chance to see our actual office space, we have actually a few different boardrooms, and they're all named after tracks in the country, which is pretty cool. So like our training room is the Nuremberg Ring, which obviously it's the most technical track, need a lot of learning. So that's where all our training gets done. This is our main boardroom, so kind of our flagship right behind us, which is really cool.
That is awesome. That's okay. So then what does a typical day in the office look like for you?
So for me, I head in normally around 9 o'clock in the morning. Big thing I like to do in the morning is obviously clear out emails, return missed calls from the day before. But really the biggest key portion of my job is actually customer relations. So having your customers reach out to you for, getting new sales done, new opportunities, stuff like that. I would handle. Everything else does get delegated over to either our customer support team or our top-notch accounting team. So most people who deal with us, it's pretty fluid and easy to work with us, and it works out well.
That's awesome, man. Well, considering we're talking about cars and tracks and everything like that, what was the first car that you owned?
So my first car was actually a 1986 Ford Mustang LX, and my dad bought it for me. And it was kind of our, father-son project through the years. And I really wish I would have spent a little bit more time on it and helped him out a little bit more on it, because I could have learned a lot more.
Right.
That was my first car and really what kind of got my niche and my bug with cars. So that was really the, ball started rolling downhill from there.
Now, is that one of the favorite cars that you've owned?
So I'm a Miata guy, and I love anything Mazda Miata. My favorite car I've ever owned is definitely my first Miata, which was a MB1, just 2000, brilliant black LS Miata. It was a fun car to drive, and that was kind of what got me into the sport compact section and really got me, kind of liking other things outside of the normal. I grew up with domestic stuff, so kind of getting a little bit of what's the word for it? A little bit something else in the mix was kind of nice. So,
yeah.
The Miata was by far my favorite car.
That's good. So that brings me to my next question. Are you currently driving a Miata?
So right now I'm not actually driving one. I'm actually in the middle of a restoration on one right now. So I have a 92 Miata and pretty much doing a backyard full restoration on the car. It's getting ready to go into paint right now, which is cool. So once that's done, start reassembly and hopefully have it done by the end of the season.
So now there are 3 generations of Miatas. The identifiers are NA, NB, and NC. Well, there's 4. ND is the most recent one. I don't fit in it, so I don't consider it to be a car per se. I'm 6'4", a little bit big for the car. Out of the first 3 generations, which one is your favorite generation?
So I am very partial to the MB1 because that was my favorite Miata and my first. I think the best Miata and the purest Miata is probably the NA, just because it's the most fun to drive. It's very simple, and nobody doesn't like pop up and down headlights, which is awesome. So And then also too, on the other hand, is the best bang for the buck right now, I think, is the NC Miata.
Yes.
Just with where you can get into them cost-wise, which is nice. And
Absolutely.
the aftermarket for all three options is booming, which is great.
It's great. It's absolutely great. As an NC owner, former NC owner, I can definitely agree with the bang for the buck portion of that. So obviously we've talked about your favorite car. We know where you work at Turn 14. What is your favorite part about working for a company like that?
So Turn 14, there's a lot of things to love, which is nice, and there's almost nothing to dislike. My number one favorite thing about working here is our teamwork vibe. We all play off each other, and without each other, we wouldn't be where we're at today. So everything from management down to the newest guy starting in the warehouse, we live by basically 8 core values, and my favorite one is "We Are One," which we live by day in and day out here. There's also a couple other ones that I'd like to touch on, and really, customers are royalty is my favorite. Out of the bunch, we treat our customers like royalty because just like our team members, we wouldn't be where we're at today without them. And then the last one is we do business the way it should be done. So literally, it is what it says right there, which is kind of nice. So we do it the way it should be done, and it basically allows us a lot of freedom to really help our customers out, because that's really at the end of the day who needs us, and we need them just as much. So it works out really well, and I'm allowed to help my customers with what they need help with, and it works out good.
Yeah, I will definitely say the business relationship between me and you has turned into more of a friendship the more that we've done business together. So I can attest to all of those core values. Knowing that, and knowing that you also had the Mustang with your father, if you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice when you first started in this industry, what would it be?
The number one thing I would tell my young 16-year-old self when getting into the industry would be to really listen to those around you. There is a ton of good mentors, and it might be an older gentleman who's worked at a shop for 20 years and he knows what he's doing, or a sales manager who's been around the block before and they can really tell you from experience. Or it could be, someone like me. I had my father, who I should have listened to a little bit more in the garage, because I would have learned a lot more. And really listening is a very big factor for me today and how I've grown. So definitely sharpen your listening skills.
It's a great piece of advice. Something that someone's told me in the past very similar is you always want to be the dumbest person in the room, right? If you've got smart people that are surrounding you, you just sit there and listen and soak it all in. So that's awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to meet with us.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. For more get-to-know segments with our facilities and partners, be sure to follow the Tuning School on social media. And as always, stay tuned. Sweet. That was good, man.
That was easy, man.